And scooch back to my blanket. Let's sit up on our blankets. Let's sit with our legs crossed or our legs straight. I think I'm going to sit with my legs straight today, just to give you the idea of what's possible. Hips still higher than legs, knees. Let's put them in a comfortable position. So I'm going to put my legs still about hip distance apart with my legs straight. If you're in a chair, of course, your feet are flat on the floor. We're going to feel the connection. The connection is a little different when we have our legs straight because we can feel our hips on the blanket, but we also feel the backs of our thighs where our knees lift away from the floor, the calves, the heels. So it's a little bit different than when you're sitting with your legs crossed. So we feel all of those connections. We're going to lengthen up through the crown of the head. So I feel like my head is pressing comfortably to the ceiling. I don't want to feel like I'm forcing anything. And there's this feeling of being connected, but lifting up towards the sky as well. So this juxtaposition of the spine going both up and down, creating a little bit of space in between the vertebra, if you can kind of visualize that in your mind. Drawing your ears over your shoulders. Your hands, it doesn't matter where your arms and your hands are, just relax your shoulders. Loosen your jaw. Maybe it helps to kind of do one of those things, a little open and close. That always helps me to see where I am with my jaw. I'm going to relax my feet, so I'm not flexing my feet. I just have a nice, easy feeling through my legs and my feet and my toes. And I like to close my eyes. As you know, some of you might like to keep your eyes open, focus on something that's not moving. Let's begin to breathe. In through the nose, out through the nose or the mouth. So when I say let's begin to breathe, what I mean is let's begin to take the breaths in a little bit more deeply. Of course, we've been sitting here breathing this whole time. But now put your attention on it, put your awareness on it. Let the breath flow in the way it wants to flow in, but take it as deeply into your body as you can. Let your belly expand with the breath. Let your body get out of the way, right? So here comes the breath. The breath is going to take up as much space as it wants to take up. We're not going to hold it back in any way. We're going to let it come all the way down. Fill up the belly, fill up the low back, fill up the rib cage all around, fill up the chest, fill up the shoulders, fill up the neck. Let your whole body be full of this breath. And with it comes the most magical gift, and that is the gift of life force energy, the gift of prana. As we bring it in on the breath, it fills us up, it moves all around, it finds all of the spaces in between. And we have new life. And we feel that life that connects us to each other, even though we're on Zoom, that life connects us to each other. It connects us to everything that's ever been alive. It connects us to inanimate objects. It connects us to the mountains. It connects us to the people that will come after us and the animals of the earth. It connects us to everything. So we feel that connection as we start our practice just by putting our awareness, our attention on the breath. Let's create an intention for our practice today. Let's breathe it in. Let's let it go. There it goes. So we have nothing to hold on to. Take another big breath in. Fill your entire body with breath. And then let it go, 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 let it go. Hang out in that space. And then Let's start to move. We'll start with the tip of the nose circling. Again, your legs can be any way you want them to be, straight or bent. If you're tired of sitting with your legs straight, bend them. If you're tired of sitting with your legs bent, straighten them. And then let's circle the other direction. I'm noticing a cranky neck here. Maybe you're noticing something about your neck just by doing this. And let's bring the nose back to the center. We're going to lift the shoulders, roll back. Lift, roll back. Lift, roll back. Lift, roll back. And then let's just bring our hands right to our thighs, knees, wherever you can. If you're sitting like this, they're on your knees. We're going to take a breath. Exhale, round to the back, a little seated cat-cow today. As we inhale, we're going to rock in the other direction, open up the heart, look up, back and forth we go. Move your spine, loosen it up, loosen up all the muscles, paraspinal muscles all up and down either side of the spine. Muscles those are hard-working muscles because they hold you up. Loosen up the back, loosen up the shoulders. Start to say hi to your hips. And then let's come back to the middle. We're going to bring the fingertips to the floor. Inhale, reach the arms up like you're waking up just out of bed. So spread your fingers nice and wide, like, oh, just getting out of bed. And then exhale and float them back down again. So really reach it up, reach it up. Oh, welcoming the sunshine, beautiful day. Oh, that first stretch of the day feels so good. And then let's release. And we're going to do one just like that. Open up your hands nice and wide. Stretch your fingers, palms. Oh, little reach, reach, reach. And then exhale. Woo. Let's all straighten our legs if your legs aren't straight. And we'll do a tap. And then we're going to lean back on our hands and we're going to do a tap with the feet. And then let's all cross our legs. Okay, so you got your legs crossed. Now cross them the other way. So uncross and cross the way that you didn't cross before. And let's do a big circle around. Ah. Free-flowing breath. Let it flow. Let your body be loose in a place where you feel like you're holding back a little bit. Remember, there's nobody watching you. So it frees you up. It frees me up, even though you're all watching me, to be a little looser, to let your shoulders experiment with moving in a way that they might not ordinarily move if you're sitting in a room full of people. Let's circle the other way. And maybe your head wants to kind of float around in a little different way than it usually does. Let's all really pay attention to how we're moving and what that feels like to be a little bit more free. Big breaths wherever you are. And then we're going to come all the way back up and frame our right knee with our hands. From here, let's do a little, what I call the dolphin dive. So it's like doing cat-cow with a little bit of a sideways movement here. So we're going to ground down through both of our sitting bones. You can kind of see that, right? Ground down. If you need to, if your hands don't reach the floor, you can use something to prop your hands up. Or if you want to keep your spine a little bit more neutral, use a couple blocks or a couple pillows. Take a breath. As you exhale, we're going to round the back towards the ceiling. So really pressing up through shoulder blades, chin to chest. As we inhale, we're like that little dolphin that comes up for a breath. Out of the waves we go. So you're in your cow. And we're going to go back and forth. And your breath is going to determine the speed. Big breaths on the back bend. Exhale on the rounded forward bend. Let's do one more. And then we're going to come back to the middle. If you want to change the cross of your legs, yippee, you get your legs back the way you want them. Let's go to the other side. So when we're here, instead of just thinking about where we're going, think about how it feels to have your hands on the ground. Where do you feel pressure? Where do you feel the earth underneath your hands? Take in the whole thing. Press down into the right sitting bone. Take a breath. And then let's round it up, chin to chest. And inhale, lift it up. So it might be that this feels a little differently on this side. Check your jaw. Let your jaw be quiet and loose, soft, all the way up through your temples. Take one more breath in, blow it out. And then let's come back to the center. Let's put the right hand on the floor, lift the left arm up, and let's take a big bend over towards the right. And we'll hang out here. Again, notice where you're touching the earth, how you feel through your hips, through your hands, both hands, right? This one's got the air all around it. This one, the earth. Let's inhale both of our arms up, like you're giving the day a big hug. Thank you, day. Take a breath here. And then let's go to the other side. Blow it out, get it out, get that breath out through the nose or the mouth. This left arm can be straight. For some reason, it feels good for me to be straight, probably because I can push myself back into my sitting bone here, but it could also be bent. It can also be way out. Make it yours. And then let's bring the arms both up again, overhead. Give your day a big hug. Let's arch into a little back bend here. So we're opening up, bring the thumbs back behind your head. Big opening through the chest. And then let's interlace our fingers over our head, press the palms to the ceiling. So now we've got a big stretch coming into our hands, into our fingers. Drop into your sitting bones, drop your tail towards the floor. So you're not in a back bend now, you've got a nice neutral spine. Take a breath in. Exhale, let's turn to the right. So our rotation with the shoulders relaxed, chin level to the floor, let your head turn to the right. And then let your head turn to the left. Let's go back and forth a few times. Notice something about your neck. My neck doesn't want to turn. Goes one way really easily, not so easily the other way. That's interesting. Let's come back to the middle. Oh, the body, it keeps us guessing, doesn't it? Keeps us entertained. It keeps us amused. Let's interlace the fingers. All right, so you presumably did it the way that feels good. Let's do it the other way now. We're going to press the palms out this time before we go up. So press out, inhale up, drop your tail down, relax your face, reach towards the ceiling, take a breath. And let's turn, this time to the left. Look over your left shoulder. Look over your right shoulder. Move your head back and forth. If it doesn't feel good to move your head back and forth, don't do it. Just hang out. Let's unwind. Come back to the center. Close your eyes, relax your shoulders. Let's take a big breath in. Let's blow that breath out through the nose, out through the mouth. Maybe you need to make a noise, whatever it is, let it go. And then we're going to stand up. We're not going to go through down dog right away. Let's just stand up. So however you get to standing, maybe your knees drop to one side, maybe you come to squat and stand up. So that's actually a good time to collect a little information about how hard or easy it is for you to get up from the floor. Maybe you already knew that information. Maybe it's different from the last time that we did it. Maybe your legs are stronger this time. I find that yoga kind of creeps up on you, right? It's like, oh, I haven't done that for a while. I'm a lot stronger than I used to be. It's pretty cool. Let's stand in mountain pose. Let's bring our hands to the heart. Here we check our knees for a little micro bend and we check our jaw, right? We feel the four corners of our feet. You can take that little peek down, make sure your feet are parallel to each other. And let's do some half salutes. So we'll inhale the arms up. Exhale, we're folding over. Let yourself hang here. Let's stay here. We're going to interrupt that sun salutation and we're going to walk our hands over to the right side of our foot and body and turn your right foot so it's pointing towards that space in between your hands. Bend your knees. Let your whole torso hang here like you're a coat that's hanging over somebody's chair. You're just hanging. Let your head hang. Big breaths into your low back. That's a big space we opened up, right? So breathe there. Let's walk to the middle. Fix your feet to parallel again. And then let's walk to the outside of the left foot. Turn your left foot so it's pointing towards the space between your hands and let yourself hang. This beautiful forward folds. Open up the back side of the body, the west side of the body. Let's come back to the middle. Point all your toes forward so your feet are now parallel again. Come part way up, breathing. Lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. And then up we come. Bend your knees a lot. I always bend my knees a lot to come up. Exhale your hands to your heart. Let's do one without interruption. So inhale, we go up. Exhale. Come part way up and breathe. And fold. And reach it up. And exhale your hands to your heart. All right, this one will interrupt with a balancing posture. Let's inhale. And exhale. Inhale, part way up. and fold. Bend those knees all the way up. We're shifting to the right foot. Keep your arms where they are. Left leg lifts. We'll come to stork pose and let's fly. You don't have to fly if you don't want to fly. Woo! You can just be here, or you could even be here. That changes your center of gravity. You decide where you want to be. You could have your big toe on the floor. You could be holding onto a chair. But breathing is not optional. Let's keep breathing. And let's release. Hands to the heart. All right, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, over we go. Heart way up, breathing in. And exhale. Let's reach. Inhale, start to shift to your left foot. Arms stay where they are. Right leg lifts. Take a breath and then start to fly. Find your gaze point. Keep your ears over your shoulders. It is much easier to balance if you've got your spine in that neutral alignment. And let's release. Hands to the heart. Let's do a quiet one. Inhale. Let's stand with our eyes closed. Soften up your knees, soften up your jaw. Take a big breath in and let it go. Let's release the arms. All right, so let's just do a shake. Let's shake that off. Shake it off. Come into the moment. Be here now. All right. Now let's find our way back into mountain pose. We're going to lift both arms up and overhead. I've got my index fingers pointing. That's the way I learned this posture. It kind of gives you something to lengthen into. You could also have your right hand on your hip. We're going to do a lateral bend here. So if it's too much for you to have both your arms overhead, you've got one hand on your right hip. We're going to keep the knees soft and we're going to keep weight equal in our feet. All right, let's go. Inhale, exhale, over we go. Press down to the left foot. Inhale through the middle. You could change hands here if you need to. Exhale over to the left, shoulders stay stacked. We're going to do that again. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, center. Let's do a little back bend here. Exhale, your hands can come to your low back if you need them there. Let's do it again. Inhale and exhale. And then come back to the center. All right, let's release the arms. In case your arms are starting to get tired, we're going to do a little shake. And we're going to turn that into a balancing pose. Okay, one more opportunity for some balance here. So I'm going to interlace my fingers. This time I'm going to do it the opposite way because I like to do that. I like to tell my body, I know you like to do it this way, but we're going to do it this way this time. Okay, I have that conversation. Index finger still pointing up. We're going to bring the arms up overhead. Remember, you can have your hand at your hip. Let's take a breath. Exhale over to the right side, and let's shift to the right foot and just pick the left foot up off the floor. So the big toe can stay there, or you can get really big here if you want to. This totally changes your center of gravity. You're going to have to keep a little pressure here at the abdominals, pulling back towards the spine. Little engagement. That's the word I was looking for. Now let's come back through the middle. Inhale, regroup. we'll exhale and inhale again. And then let's exhale over to the left and lift the right foot off the floor. Again, you can make this as big or as little as you want to. You can have the big toe on the floor. Soft jaw all around. Soft jaws all around. And let's release. Come back to the center. Let's float the arms down. We'll do a little jiggle to get ourselves back into the moment. Little chubby checker right here. All right, little twisting, little wiggling, little Elvis. I don't know what you want to call it. Make it yours. Loosen up the back, and then let's come back to our hip distance and mountain pose. Let's close our eyes in mountain pose. We'll take another big breath in. And exhale, let it go. So hopefully these interludes of breathing will remind you that you could actually do this wherever you are, whenever the need arises. Let's do it again. One big breath. I have the opportunity to use my breath whenever I need it. I love and adore my breath. Let's bring our hands to the heart. We're coming to down dog. So we're going to do a little forward fold, hinging from the hip creases, neutral spine until our hands touch the floor, then walk it out. Step it back, let your head hang down. Woo, if you want to do a walk here, feel free. If you like just hanging out in down dog, soften up your shoulders, that space between your shoulder blades, so you're not collapsing there. You can bend your knees, and that will help you lengthen your spine if that's something that feels good. You can drop your heels to the floor, or they can float above the floor. Let your weight float into your index finger and your thumb. Press down there. Breathe. We're going to take a couple more breaths in down dog. If this is too many for you, come to child's pose. And then let's all come to our hands and knees. All right, hands and knees. We've got our hips over our knees. We're going to slide our hands forward and forward. And my chest is going to drop towards the floor. And my tail is going to point up. And I'm going to put my forehead down on the floor if it gets there. And we are in half dog position. And our arms are in that beautiful position that we all love, right next to our ears. If you can't get your head to the floor, that's okay. Hang out wherever you get, or put a block under your forehead. Relax your jaw, point your tail up, relax your belly towards the floor. Let's take one more breath. And then we're just going to sit back on our heels. We're just going to slide all the way back, and we're going to land in extended child's pose. I like to put a little space between my knees here. It lets my belly drop down in. My forehead gets to the floor a little bit easier. And we're going to relax, just relax. Enjoy the break. Enjoy this period of rejuvenation. Take some big breaths into your back. Soften everywhere. And then let's walk our hands off the left side of the mat and let your hips rock just a teensy weensy bit to the right. So you feel a big stretch through your right side. And then we're going to walk through the middle of the mat and off to the right side. Let your hips rock just a teensy weensy bit over to the left. And enjoy that big stretch in the left side of your body. And then let's walk it through the middle again. Now we're going to come up to our heels in Vajrasana, but we're not going to stay here very long. So I'm going to show you a couple options. For those of you who can easily sit in Virasana, which is right between your feet, sit between your feet. And some of you can easily do that. I think, okay, that's a better view. You can see what I'm doing. Some of you could easily do that if you had a little help from your friend, the blanket or the pillow or the block. Okay. And we're going to come here or down to your forearms or all the way to your back. You know who you are. The rest of us are going to do one side at a time. Okay. So we're going to free the left leg over here. And I'm still sitting, my hips are still inside my right heel. Hopefully, most people can grab this stretch. If you can't, grab a stretch. I've never said that before. Okay. If you can't, you're down on your left arm, and this is where you're going to grab your stretch right here. Okay. Because we're stretching these quads on the right side. If you're here with me, your legs are wide. Your left leg is bent. The sole of your foot is on the floor, and we're going to come back to our hands, forearms are all the way back to your back. Those of you who are sitting with both of your feet back, I'm going to tell you when to, or you're going to stay there, and those of us on one side are going to switch halfway. So let's take a couple breaths here. And then those of us who are holding one side are going to go to the other side. So you've got your left leg next to your hip, and your right leg is going to be free. If you had to come up off your forearms to do that, then back down you go. I should also say that some of you prefer being on your big toe. Just listen to your knee. Those of you who cannot do this, you're on your right arm, and here you are. You should be able to get to that stretch. If you can't get your hand to your heel, maybe you can get your strap back there. Oh, so many ways to get the same stretch. Let's breathe here. We're going to take one more breath. And then find your way up from wherever you are. Free your legs. Our ankles are saying, what in the world just happened to us? So let's circle our ankles, especially if you had both of your feet back there. It's a nice stretch for ankles. And let's circle the other way. And their friends, the shins, right? Hardly ever stretch the shins. All right, now we're going to go to our backs. So find your way to your back any way you want. Pull your knees to your chest. Give yourself a hug. Squeeze the knees, and then a little rock. Let's go a little further than we usually do today. Let's go from one elbow all the way through the middle to the other elbow. That means your abdominals are going to have to help you a little bit more than they usually do. If that doesn't feel right, then you're right in the middle, like we usually are. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. And then let's put our hands on the floor and circle our knees, or your hands are on your knees. Harder, easier. Let's circle the other way. And then we're going to bring the feet to the floor. Let's bring our arms overhead. So we're going to do bridge pose with our arms overhead. This is called extended bridge pose. Arms extended overhead. Palms are up. Eyes are on the ceiling. We're inhaling and lifting our hips off the floor. Some of you will like to stay up. Some of you will like to go in and out. Keep your inner thighs engaged. So your knees have not dropped out. They are right lined up, hip distance, just like they were when your feet were on the floor, when your hips were on the floor. Sorry. Let's breathe into the belly. If you're coming in and out, you're exhaling down, you're inhaling up. If you're in a chair, you're in a back bend. You can have your arms up and over your head, or you could be holding on to the back of your chair. Feel the four corners of your feet. Make some adjustments so you feel that. And then let's all exhale the hips down. Feel that release. Feel your back muscles relaxing. Feel your hip muscles relaxing. And then let's cross the right leg over the left above the knee. We're going to lift the left foot off the floor. Right arm passes through. And we're going to join both of our hands around the knee, under the knee, or you're using a strap. Relax your shoulders back to the floor. Relax your jaw. Relax your arms best you can. Use as little energy here as you can. And then we're going to let go. Left foot comes to the floor. Let's cross it all the way over. So now your thighs are touching. Arms out to T. We'll go ahead with the twist. Knees to the left. Head turns to the right. Shoulders are flat on the floor. Melt yourself down into the earth. Let go of any tension you're holding in your body or your face, your hips, your shoulders, your hands. And then let's release. Bring the knees to the center, keep them crossed. Let's let them drop just a tiny little bit over to the right. So you start to feel the stretch coming down this way through your hip crease, through your abdominals. And then we'll bring the legs back to the middle and uncross them. You'll probably need to straighten your pelvis to feel like you're even there again. And we'll cross the left leg over the right. Right foot picks up, left arm slides through the legs. Here it comes out the other side, looking for the right hand. And they find their togetherness around your right shin or under, or you're using your strap. Relax your shoulders to the floor again. Remember, when we're on the floor, we don't want to feel like our chin is pointing to the floor or towards the ceiling. So we want to make sure if that's happening, that we have something under our head that's going to bring our neck to a more neutral position. Now we'll put the right foot on the floor, release the hands, cross all the way over. So thighs are now touching. If you don't like the way that feels, your legs are uncrossed. We're going to let the legs drop over to the right. And the head turns gently to the left if that feels all right for you. Now let's bring the knees gently through the middle and just a little baby drop over to the left. And then back to the center we come. Let's uncross the legs, straighten the pelvis. Let's bring our arms beside us, not jammed into your sides, not out to T, somewhere in between, palms turned down. Let's bend the knees and lift the legs right up. And get our legs up in the air. Eyes are on the ceiling, shoulders are wide on the floor. Floating as best you can in this position so that it seems effortless to you. Feel the breath moving through your body. And allow the breath to find places that could be softer. Let the breath work for you. Slow the breath down. We'll take one more breath here. And then bend one knee, bend the other knee, and let's put our feet on the floor. Let's bring our hands to the belly. Eyes on the ceiling, close them if you're comfortable with your eyes closed. And let's take 3 big breaths into our hands. So you're taking your belly on the in-breath into your hands. And the out-breath, feel your belly just relaxing back towards the floor. Let's do another one. Big breath in, feel the belly rise into the hands. And then let it go and relax a little bit more. And then one more. Big breath into the hands. Let it go. And then let your knees drop together in constructive rest pose or straighten your legs into Shavasana. Let's let the arms come out beside us, palms turn up. Close your eyes if that works for you. Let's move into relaxation. Take your time with the breath. So if you need to take a few deep breaths to get as relaxed as possible, do that. If you can invite the quiet breath right away, then invite the quiet breath and let your whole body melt into the earth. So all of the tight edges are loosening. So there's nowhere you perceive holding. And then when you feel like you've let go all that you can, let go a little bit more and notice that there's always a little bit more. And then let go again. Let's begin to deepen the breath once again. We'll let the fingers and toes move freely. Let your head turn. And then let's bend the knees one at a time. And we'll roll over to the right side of the body. Just relax here, fetal position, taking a moment to notice how you feel, to deepen the breath, to invite gratitude for your body today, for your breath, the great provider of prana, for your practice, which moves you in ways you would never move without it. So feeling gratitude for that today and grateful for a beautiful day. And then when you're ready, pushing yourself up using your hands. We'll bring our hands to the heart into Anjali Mudra as we close our practice together, feeling the breath moving through our miraculous body. Feeling the energy moving through your body, hopefully. Hopefully feeling what it's like to be quiet and calm and present. To honor yourself for who you are, just as you are, just as you were intended to be. We honor each other in the same way. We honor all people, all the creatures of the earth. We honor this earth and feel gratitude for the many gifts that we enjoy in abundance every day. We feel our connection to each other, to all people, to all beings, to all things on earth. Let's share our voices in the sound of our practice, in the sound of Om, taking a deep breath together. Ah. May peace, joy, love, compassion, and gratitude fill your heart today and every day to overflowing. Namaste. And I thank you all, as always, for joining me. And we shall have our affirmation from the creativity deck. This is the back of the deck. Is that right side up? Yeah, it's a chameleon. See that? I think that's so fun. Okay. Life is art. That's what this site says. I see my entire life, my entire life, as a work of art. And I choose to be the artist creating it. Rather than sit around as a passive audience member, I pick up a pen and write my own story. That means every day is an act of creation, as I constantly strive to be the sort of hero or heroine who fearlessly follows their bliss, curates beautiful, non-toxic relationships, and almost always resists having a donut. All right, there it is. Life is art. I love it. All right, have a great weekend. If I don't see you, I'll be here, but in case you're not. And I thank you for being here.
Thanks.
Thanks, Leslie.